What you say?
I told you that it's time to start the show.
That you only meant well.
Yeah, the show's gonna do
Of
well.
course you did. What you say?
I said let's go.
That it's all for the best.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like the best
Of course it
podcast.
is. What you say?
God, do I have to keep repeating myself?
Just what we need. You decided this.
Hold up, I
What
thought we
you
both
say?
decided to do this.
What did she say?
I said let's start the show.
Hey everyone, welcome to Whatcha Say, an OC podcast. My name is Elyse Daly,
And I'm Scott Daly.
and together we're the Dailies.
Yes, this is the podcast where each and every week my wife Elyse and I go through the hit 2000s teen drama called The OC, episode by episode. This week on the show, we are covering season 2, episode 13, called The Father Knows Best. I feel like
Unlucky number 13, Scott.
I feel like this is the first episode in this show where I've really felt like the thing of their title. They're like, you know, the scheme of the show titling is every episode has the in it, right?
Yes.
Like it's the surprise,
Like the one
yeah.
with friends,
Yeah.
how they do that. Yeah.
right, the one with, yeah. This is the first one that I'm like, they just didn't know what to call this episode. Like, because the phrase is Father Knows Best, right? That's the phrase. But the Father Knows Best, it's just, it doesn't work for me. It doesn't
The
work.
Father Knows Best.
The Father Knows Best.
I think it's fine.
Fine.
The more you think about it and say it afterwards, it's like, okay, it settles in.
Okay.
What? You just gotta like let it simmer.
Just let it
And let it stew until all of the wonderful like spices come together to the perfect flavoring.
Well, there's one thing I do know, and that is that
You love me,
No, it's not what I was going to say.
but it's true, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But can I say my joke now? You've kind of taken the wind out of the sails of my joke a little bit here.
You can continue
I was
with your joke.
I was gonna say the Elyse knows best, and it was gonna be funny, but you ruined it. Now
The Elyse does know best.
Yeah, it would have been really great, and it would have been the funniest bit I've ever done on the show.
No,
but now it's
there's been
ruined.
funnier ones. I don't think it would have been quite as hilarious as you think.
Well, you know what?
What,
Elyse?
Scott?
The,
What?
The Elyse does not know best.
The Elyse is the best.
There. Can we move on to Rosies and Thornies?
Yeah, we can. It's a part of the show where Scott and I look back on the week and we talk about what was good, what was bad, our rosies, our thornies. And Scott, we're going to start with your bad this week. You're going to wing it.
Why are you doing this to me? You knew I didn't have one. You could
You want
see
me
in the
to
script I didn't have
start?
one.
You want me
and
to
you make
start?
me go
It's
first?
okay. I can start.
Okay, fine. Go.
Guys, there are these things called face masks. And I'm not saying that face masks are bad. I think that they're good. I think that they're needed. And I encourage people to wear them. What I am saying is I had an experience where face masks, I had an ordeal. We were trying to get enough face masks for our entire staff to like decorate as a back to school thing and have like semi-team bonding, even though you're not allowed to be, you know, within 6 feet of each other. Like at least give them something to plan out together other than lessons. Anyways, so I was going to order them from Target, but as much as I love Target, ordering online from Target for these face masks just did not work because you have to have a quantity of 6 or less, and I needed to order 35 packs. So I go into the Target thinking the people at Target have the ability to order more than 35, and the people at Target do not have the ability to order more than 35. Not online. Like if they did it through their store, it would be one number for all the different colors. So they said they couldn't give me all the same color that I wanted. So we decided we could do, 6 different orders and have it run, all 6 different times. But then we learned that that's not possible because if you're a school, you have to pay tax-free. And they can't do tax-free online. So then I had to figure out what would be able to work that way because I can't use the card for a school and then have them reimburse stuff because I can't even put tax at all in the card. And so it was this big long ordeal. And then finally what ended up having to happen was I pay for all 6 out of my own pocket so that we can get all the ones sent to the store that we want. And then as soon as they come to the store, I'll go to the store and return everything using the card and receipt that I had. I'm trying to think if I have the receipt. I have all of it on my phone. And then after that, pay for it using the tax ID with the school card.
This is a very long story, Elyse.
I was in Target for an hour and 15 minutes trying to get all of these ordered and figured out how we were going to pay for these using the school card, but not using the school card so that we could get it tax-free.
Can I admit something to you right now?
Yeah.
Like half of that story, I thought you were talking about like skin conditioning face masks.
No.
I was like, why is she so on a tear about face masks? I've
You thought this whole time that I was talking about face masks, like facial care, even when I told you this story last week?
No.
Oh.
When you started this story now, I thought because you wrote face
You
masks.
know what? Oh.
You wrote face masks. Like usually they're just masks, right? If I'm talking about the cloth masks that everyone's having to wear to go out, I would just call them masks. Or face
they're
coverings.
face masks.
But just the phrase face masks to me is associated with the mask, the skin mask.
Like a facial mask?
Yeah. Like that's for whatever reason. I don't know why. But half of that story, I was like...
You've heard this story before, Scott. Why were you confused?
Because you just threw me off. I didn't know where you were going with it. I didn't understand until... and I was like, oh, this is the Target tax story.
You know. You were a part of hearing... the frustration the actual day of.
I just explained to you my thought process.
I know.
And why I was confused.
It doesn't make sense, Scott.
It doesn't make sense.
What's your thorn? What did you think about finally and realize was bad?
I don't have one really. I mean, my thorns are the same thorns every week, which is like that I'm still looking for a job, and it hasn't really happened yet. It's August now, if you can believe it. It's August of the year 2020. Like,
Yeah.
how did that happen? Holy shit. It's
I don't
crazy.
know.
It's crazy. It's
It
all
is.
crazy. Life is weird. Life is weird right now.
Life is very
weird.
strange.
Got
Not
a lot of stuff
normal.
going on, and then in some ways you have nothing going on because you're not working, and it's just very weird. It's very weird.
Hopefully you'll get something soon.
I'm hoping.
We keep praying.
Yep. So that's it. I don't want to talk about me anymore. Let's talk
Okay.
about you again.
Okay, let's talk about me again. My rose for this week, we didn't come back full capacity yet for staff, but
So this is entirely work-oriented.
Work-related.
I think
I don't normally do that, but I'm getting back.
You're just like, you're like back
Yeah,
almost
I'm
full,
getting
full
back.
force in the whole work swing.
We've still been split in and out of the office while we can. But we had all of our new staff that we had hired back in May on campus for new teacher orientation.
Was this one of your thorns, I believe, back in May, was the difficulties of hiring new people.
I don't know if it was. But
it was an ordeal. Let's say that.
Scott knows what the situation was. But anyways, it was nice to actually finally get everybody there. I mean, it was a very interesting thing. I've never met people that I was going to work with for the first time in person where I couldn't, shake their hand, give them a hug, and I only saw half of their face. And it was really hard trying to figure out who was who.
Because of the face masks.
And so that was interesting. But it was good to get to know everybody and feel confirmed in the fact that all the people that we hired seem like good people.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it was nice.
I'm glad it's working out. I know that was a very stressful end of summer activity beginning of summer activity for you, rather. So I'm glad it's working out.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Thanks.
And hopefully
There
you're gonna
are
have
still
a great year.
People that are needing to hire teachers and paraprofessionals.
Well, that's because, all the numbers are reduced, right? There's less kids per classroom now, so they need a bunch more
No,
teachers.
these are just their normal vacancies.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
What a disaster.
Yeah.
Maybe they should pay teachers more money, and then more people will be teachers.
That would be an idea, wouldn't it?
Yeah, some sort of raise.
Really, that's the deal with the paraprofessionals is they're not paid enough, and so they hear what the salary is.
What does PAIR stand for?
Para, P-A-R-A, professional. It's like a not certified teacher
Like
that helps out.
Like a parahuman?
Yeah. But,
Like they're like beside the teacher.
yeah.
Like a beside human.
They usually partner with a teacher. It's usually a special education teacher.
Do they have superpowers?
I mean, I would say some of them do.
Cool.
Like calming, soothing personalities.
I would like to be a parahuman professional.
Okay.
Where do I sign up?
HR. I'll give you a job. I'm just kidding. We don't have any openings. But I know of schools that do.
Okay. Well, I hope
don't-
it all works out for them.
I don't know if that would be a good job for you.
What?
No. It's a very, very difficult and
If you were a parahuman professional, what would your parahuman power be? I would fly.
I don't think flight would be a very useful thing.
See, I'm still doing a thing, and you're just
Yeah.
trying real hard.
Mine would
to
be
ignore it.
like I touch you and you fall asleep.
That seems. Isn't that Doctor Sleep? That the evil girl in Doctor Sleep can do that, right?
Does she
You
make
watched
them
that
fall
movie.
asleep?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Doesn't she like bite them or something?
No, she just talks to them. She talks to them, and they fall asleep. So if they hear it,
Yeah.
what a good movie. Okay, book, really great movie.
Yeah.
Stephen King.
What's your roast?
My rose is cooking.
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 Cooking what?
Anything. So, we just kind of talked about how I am unemployed and you have returned to work, so you are a lot more busy than you normally are, and I am a lot less busy than I normally am. And so in this time, I've kind of shifted to being the house husband. You go off to work and I stay at home. And so I've been taking on a lot more of the responsibilities around the house, and we kind of always split the cooking. I think charitably you did
2/3, 1/3.
you did more than I did. You definitely did. But I've kind of taken that mantle over now, and which is not to
I
say
appreciate it.
which is not to say that you're not helping. You absolutely are helping, and you still make yourself breakfast every morning because I am not awake when you wake up. But
Yeah, I can't make you breakfast tomorrow because I only have 4 tortillas left. So if I make you breakfast, then that means we have no more tortillas left.
there are only 8 tortillas in that thing.
Yeah.
A bummer.
Yeah,
thought
I
we
mean,
were
I
gonna
guess
have
you're gonna.
breakfast tacos all week. Yeah, I'm going
You
to the
can
store
go to the
tomorrow.
store because we only have 5 more eggs, and I make 4 for the breakfast tacos.
That's too
so.
many eggs. It's too much cholesterol in my body.
Eggs are good for you.
But it's a lot of cholesterol.
They've actually been thinking that that's not all true.
They're thinking a lot of things. Everything changes.
The more that
I'm going
we
to take
have
up smoking
science
because
around,
they don't even know anymore.
no,
They don't
smoking's
even know.
not good.
Yeah, just wait. In a couple days, smoking's good for you. It's going to happen. Just you wait.
Yeah.
In a dramatic role reversal. No, but the point of this thorn is that I have kind of taken up more of that, and so I've been doing the grocery shopping, getting all the food, basically doing all that solo, because you still have 2 jobs. You're working
Mm-hmm.
at school and you're working at your workout place, and so several nights a week you are.
And I'm helping with this. It's 3 jobs.
Yeah, several nights a week you are out fairly late. So in the evening, I am kind of on my own to prepare dinner for us, and I've actually, to be quite honest with you, I'm really enjoying it. I really
It's fun to cook.
yeah, I mean, so we've got several different cookbooks that we're cooking from. I am not competent enough to just like say like, "Oh, I've got these 12 ingredients. I will do this. I need to follow a book. It has step-by-step instructions, and I need the instructions to be
That's
very
okay.
explicit." But I have been enjoying it a whole bunch. I always helped you, right?
Yeah.
I've always helped you cook, but it was more I was your sous chef. You were
Yeah.
running the kitchen, and I was doing shit to help get it done.
I would
But-
just boss you around.
so this is really me taking over head chef for the first time, and I would occasionally cook you. Like I have 2 recipes I could cook. I have chicken parmesan and I have stuffed shells. And
You could make either of those this week. I think those would be good.
maybe I'll make chicken parm. It's been a while since I made chicken parm. So that's really, and everything else I've just been kind of like letting you lead, and I've been following and helping. But this is me kind of going into the role out of a necessity for us,
Yeah.
because someone needs to do it, and I have more time than you do, and it just makes sense for me to do it. But I've been really enjoying it.
I have to.
The last couple meals we made we made we made a lot of stuff with
The
beef.
Al Pastor
Yeah.
pizza was delicious.
The Al Pastor pizza was very good. The beef this book we have has a lot of like tray things where it's just like
Sheet pan.
Yeah, it's the easiest stuff in the world. You just chop up shit and you put it all in a sheet pan and throw it in the oven, and then bam, dinner. Those are my favorite kind of recipes. But we did beef stir fry. I forget what it was called. It was some stir fry beef that I made.
Pepper stir fry.
It was
Pepper
so good.
beef stir
It's
fry.
so good.
It was good.
But I've been enjoying cooking, is the point. I've
Good.
been really enjoying cooking.
So this week I chose 3 different recipes for everyone interested. We are going to be making, what was the first one? Oh, yes. Chicken tostadas with pineapple salsa. Next one is curried tuna cakes with asparagus.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one is 1-pan chicken pot pie pasta. So it doesn't have like the crust from a normal chicken pot pie. It's just got the pasta with it.
And we're going to get that special soy pasta, right? What kind of pasta do we get? Garbanzo bean, yeah.
We can get that.
Nom, 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 nom.
And then Scott might throw me for a loop and sub one of those out for chicken parm one night, but that's okay.
Yeah, I guess that's like I am still letting you pick the meals. But I am in charge of making them become food.
And then we get breakfast tacos for breakfast during the week.
I'm not a big breakfast person, so
I love
breakfast. Eat breakfast every day. I eat breakfast
when I make it for you.
Yeah.
Or we go out.
Yeah.
But we haven't done that.
I'll just skip
like
breakfast.
I can't tell you when the last time was we went out to breakfast.
Well, because it's scary out there. We don't really go out anymore. Hey.
I do.
What?
I go out.
It's because you have those face masks. Those facial masks.
Got face masks, and I got courage and a killer immune system.
Well, please don't bring the coronavirus home.
I'll do my best.
All right, Elyse, you want to talk about the show?
I do, because once we talk about this show, we get to next week's show, and I'm really excited about next week's show.
Man,
so let's talk about...
This is a great way to sell this episode, is by like... The best thing about this episode is pretty soon it'll be over.
One step closer to what I like. Okay,
all right,
so...
tell me about episode 13.
Episode 13 is called Father Knows Best. It was written by John Stevens, who wrote 2 other episodes already this season, and it was directed by Michael Lang. It originally aired on February 17th, 2005. So, Scott, those are the deets.
February.
Tell me the summary.
Well, it's another day, or I guess week in Newport, and another surprise adoption as the suddenly reformed Caleb decides that he wants to officially adopt Lindsay to be his daughter and be part of the family so she can get some sweet monies if he dies. Julie Cooper, the evil monster that she is not happy with this because, as we saw last week, all she cares about is ensuring that she gets all Caleb's money. So she's not happy about this, and she says, well, you have to order a paternity test. And
makes sense.
Yeah, and we learn by the end of the episode that the results of that test might be a little contentious, a.k.a. Lindsay might not be Caleb's daughter after all.
What?
Meanwhile, a stinky, creepy Seth is obsessing over Zach and Summer's relationship, while Sandy continues to destroy his marriage one bad choice at a time.
That's true.
Oh, it's a sad episode, Elyse. It's a sad, sad episode. Mm-hmm. Not a lot good happens in this episode.
No, there's not a lot great.
Tell me what you thought of it, though. What were your overall thoughts of this episode?
So there's a lot of things happening as far as like relationships go and romantic relationships go in this episode. And you see the deterioration of one of my favorites, but it's almost like as bad as it is to see that happen, you know, sometimes you got to go through the fire in order to come out stronger. And so we hope that even though Sandy and Kirsten have hit a really, really rough patch, then it doesn't continue to decline and that we'll be able to see them get better sooner than later. But, you know, it is a show and there are more than half of the episodes in season 2 left. And then we've got seasons 3 and 4. And, you know, they're not going to be done with Sandy and Kirsten because they're at the foundation of the show. So I hate to see them in, you know, rocky terrain, but at least we know that that means something interesting will hopefully happen. And then I'll talk more about the love triangle that has happened.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's going to describe part of my thorn, but that's another big thing. But overall, I mean, it's not, I think after all of the lines have been introduced this season, it has been a steady, like, these things are building and building, and it's not quite hit the point where there's anything enough that has happened to where you're like emotionally invested and just can't wait to keep watching. You know what I mean? It's just more of it's simmering. You can see that things are developing, but you're just still waiting.
You know what I miss? And I think that what this episode and a lot of the season is lacking, it is lacking our Fab Four. It is lacking the Seth, Ryan,
That's true.
Marissa,
I don't know when the last time was we've seen them all together.
It's been a long time. And this is the episode where I really felt it, because I think there's a lot of good, interesting stuff going on in this episode. I like where they're going with a lot of the characters. I just wasn't like as sucked into the beat to beat of it all.
Beep,
you know?
beep, beep, beep.
Did I tell you that someone was watching my stream the other day and they said that every time they hear the phrase beat to beat, they imagined your jingle now?
Aw, that's sweet.
So you've ruined that forever now.
Guys, I'm making your lives better. You're welcome.
But yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here. I really like the Seth and Summer stuff. I can see the writing on the wall in the Marissa Alex stuff, and I'm like, oh no, with that. I'm starting to be on Team Elyse when it comes to Lindsay. I really am.
Oh.
And it's just because we'll get there. We'll get there, I think.
We'll get there.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good here, not a lot of great here, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's
I think that's a fair.
I think the season has hit like a pretty good plateau where I haven't seen a bad episode in a while, but I just haven't seen like a holy crap, that was an amazing episode.
You know what? I told you this is the stepping stone. There are two really good episodes back to back.
You've built these up so much that I feel like my expectations are so high.
I know I shouldn't have done it. It's okay.
Hey, Elyse, why don't we move into talking about the episode in a little more detail, though? Not a beat by beat, though.
No, not a beat, 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 beat.
This is our episode, Rosies and Thornies, where we highlight our favorite thing and our least favorite thing about the episode. We're going to do Thorns first, and it's Elise's turn to go first. So, Elyse, what was your least favorite thing about this episode?
So, my least favorite thing about this episode is that creepy Seth is back. And when I mean creepy Seth is back, what I mean is last episode, we had Zach and Summer who were in San Diego and they were going to spend 2 nights overnight. And Seth was already freaking out about the fact that he was next door, thinking that thinking that Zach and Summer were going to have sex because that would just like destroy him because he has realized he still feels things for Summer. And so this entire episode is Seth trying to figure out if they slept together, and he wants to ask Zach and he wants to ask Summer, but asking Summer is actually very creepy, but he thinks that not asking Summer, he can ask Zach.
Of course, you're right. I have to let it go because there's no way I will ever know unless I ask Summer. What? Yeah, it came to me last night during Hellboy. See, it's the uncertainty that's killing me, Ryan.
It won't be the uncertainty killing you if you ask Summer.
No, see.
No, Seth, you can't ask her. It's weird and it's creepy and it's none of your business.
You're right. I don't know what I was thinking. Just like asleep or something. I'll ask Zach.
Which is equally creepy. And then Zach tells Summer, and it's just, you know, like, Seth, I get it. I get that you still have feelings for her and you don't want that to happen, but you can't control it. And she decided she didn't want to be with you, and you can't do this. You've already messed up the comic, and it's not fair to them, especially not fair to Summer. And
poor Summer.
I know. I mean, she is having to try and still tell Zach that there's nothing going on between her and Seth, even though there was that electric nose graze.
Well, also in this episode, she says, like, we learn about the whole sex thing that
Zach decided he's not going to have sex until he's married.
Well, yeah, but then he changes his mind about that and says, no, he just needs it to be special. So he wants we learned that Zach said they didn't have sex. I was wrong. Last week I said they definitely had sex. They did not have sex while they were in the hotel in San Diego. But they didn't because Zach wants to wait till marriage, not for a religious reason, he says, just because it just feels like the thing he wanted to do. And Summer admits to Marissa that she was a little bit relieved about that because there's a Seth Cohen hovering over everything.
It's just that when we were about to, there was this voice in my head.
Seth?
And I couldn't get rid of him. Oh, and then Zach said he couldn't have sex, and I didn't want to explain it, so I made him believe that I still wanted to.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, though. Like, in the first season, we had our is Seth creepy moments, and those, thankfully, went away. We hadn't done that in a long time because Seth hadn't been that creepy, but...
Well, and it's, I mean, like, this is creepy stuff.
Yes.
I get that. But
well,
also...
I mean, textually, right?
and
Like, everyone calls him creepy. Like, everyone calls him creepy.
And he does just, in general, have anxiety that comes off as, like, awkwardness that they usually play off as comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But this... it doesn't quite hit the this is funny comedy. It hits the this is weird and this is wrong. And it's just, it makes me feel uncomfortable, you know? And it's just, it's weird and I don't like it. And I don't like that they're making Seth be like that because I love Seth.
Yeah.
And it's just...
Isn't it weird?
It seems like his character, but it doesn't seem like his character, so I think that's what bothers me.
Isn't it weird that the show kind of lets him off the hook for that behavior? Like, it rewards him for it?
Yeah, because he ends up finding out and ends up being relieved.
Yeah.
And it's not his business.
Yeah. I mean, there's that one scene where Zach literally says to him, you can punch me if you want to punch me.
That's so awesome. So what you're saying is then that when you two go to Italy, you will achieve this harmony.
Look, I just want to be straightforward with you, Seth, okay? So you can plan your freak out accordingly. If you want to punch me in the face right now, I'd be okay with that.
And I'm like, Zach, what are you doing? He's the one behaving
and Seth has no
inappropriately.
ownership over her in that respect.
Like,
and so
he's not allowed to get mad and punch you because you are going to sleep with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with you? Like, that actually, that looks really bad on Zach, too, where he's like, yeah, I get Summer's yours, and I get that you would be like, no, Zach, Summer's your own girl. Yeah. I agree with you. It's a little weird.
I didn't like it, but
hopefully our Seth will come around.
We'll just have to see.
I hope so.
What was your thorn this week?
My thorn, I hinted towards it in our summary section. My thorn is the Marissa and Alex relationship, not because I don't like it. I do like it. I am seeing the writing on the wall. And I'm worried about it. We talked about this when it was first introduced, and then last week I was like, fuck yeah, it's going great. It's better than I thought. And this week I was like, oh no. Because what happens in this week's episode is Marissa, at the end of last week, they kissed, right? Marissa and Alex kissed for the first time on the beach. It was beautiful. It was romantic. And this week, Alex has a bunch of friends coming into town, and she wants Marissa to come to the party. And not only does she want Marissa to come to the party, but she says, Marissa, invite your best friend, Summer. And Marissa hasn't told Summer about Alex yet. And so there's a lot of hesitance in her face that Alex picks up on immediately. And then later, Marissa goes to the party, walks in the door, and sees that the party is a bunch of girls.
Well, she went to go talk to Marissa and didn't realize that the party, her friends had already come over before.
Yeah, but I think she is a little bit... weirded out, it's not the right word, but it is very clear to me, like the way they blocked the party, it was a bunch of women and they were all standing 2 by 2 by 2, kind of coupled up. And she looked and saw not only that there were people there, but they were all women coupled up, and realized this was like a couple thing. And she freaked out even more and just went like, bye.
She did.
And so like we said at the very beginning, I'm very worried that for Alex, this is a serious thing that she takes seriously. For Marissa, this is just some stupid fling thing she's doing, and she's going to end up getting her hurt. That's what I'm worried about now. I will, to give her credit, by the end of the episode, Marissa has told Summer about Alex. She kind of comes right out and says it, that because Summer is being so honest with her about how she feels about Seth, it makes Marissa feel bad, and she comes clean about her relationship. Or comes clean is a weird phrase. She tells her best friend that she's dating someone.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, you know what? Summer handles it pretty good for 2005. I think like she's she's surprised a little bit. I think she probably didn't need when they were hugging each other.
We're still friends, right?
Of course we are. Come here. Oh. This isn't turning you on, right?
Probably didn't need that, but I never expected a character like Summer to be like, what? You're gay now? But like, I'd never expected that.
Well, it's her best friend.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I'm worried. I'm worried about it. I can see it. And I'm like, Marissa, no, this poor girl. Alex, I've really grown to like Alex.
I have loved that character. I'm telling you from the beginning, like season 2 has some of my favorite new characters.
But I think Alex, I think they were leaning into the rocker chick stuff at the beginning, and I think they've opened her up to be a more complex character than just like the bad girl thing that Seth was attracted to at first. And I just, she's complicated. She's really into Marissa, and I'm really worried she's going to get hurt because that's what Marissa does to people. Just wait till the next bad girl or boy comes along, and Marissa's going to be like, yeah.
Yep. It's true.
Oh, man. Oh, no. All right, so that is our bad things. Again, mine is even it's weird because I like what the show is doing with this relationship. It's just making me sad.
I think it's just you see the writing on the wall, and it's a character that you care about, and you don't want that character to be hurt, and that's understandable.
Yeah. All right, so let's go to the good. What did you like the most about this week's episode?
Scott, there's a character that I don't like that left.
I didn't know you didn't like this character that much.
Well, it's just that I don't like what she did. She stirred the pot, and the only person allowed to stir the pot is Julie Cooper. And Rebecca just came in and she decided to stake ground and drive a wedge between Sandy and Kirsten. And you better know better than to do that to Sandy and Kirsten. And it just, it frustrated me. It was like at the beginning, you understand, you're excited that they're at least paying attention to this relationship because they're showing the importance of the relationship. It's just, you hate to see them go through that. So when one part of the problem is removed, then you hope at least things are going to get better, even though there was the conversation at the party where Kirsten tells Sandy about how she did go and confront Rebecca and asked her if she loved her husband, and that Rebecca said yes. And so there was an issue about trust that they had. And I forget exactly what Kirsten said, other than if this, we have much bigger issues than trust if you're going to believe her over me or something like that. And then she just walks away.
It's not a choice between protecting you and protecting Rebecca.
Oh, I think it is. And I think you made that choice, Sandy.
And I think that it's just Rebecca came. We know that that was the instigator to some marital problems, but we would hope that when that's removed, Sandy can finally reflect back on maybe what happened and be able to move forward.
And it wasn't. Yeah, I mean, Rebecca leaves because Kirsten tells her to. Or not, she doesn't tell her to. She puts things in perspective for her, which is the absolute truth, which is the same thing the FBI agent tells Sandy earlier in the episode, which is like, look, by associating with this woman and by taking her case and by continuing to go down this path, you are putting your entire family at risk. You are endangering your entire life and the life of the people that you love. You need to stop acting selfishly. And he doesn't listen to the FBI agent, and Kirsten goes and tells Rebecca, and Rebecca takes, which I think is the correct decision, which is like to just tell her to just get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
But of course she leaves a note for Sandy, letting Sandy know.
Ugh.
I was shocked. I was shocked when Sandy was pissed off. Like, I understand he was pissed off at her for that, but when he didn't let it go, or he didn't recognize why his wife was so upset about it, you know?
He's got them Becca blinders on.
He does. He just, around this woman, he can't. And he lied to her again. He's like, nothing happened. And of course we know that's not true. At the end of last week's episode, they kissed, and didn't go any further than that, but they still kissed at the end of that episode. So to say that yes, I know she's in love with me, but I don't feel the same way. It's like, well, come on, buddy. You kissed her. You did it.
He kissed
you
her.
You did it. So, Sandy, usually the moral arbiter of the show, has just fallen from grace these past few episodes.
But I think that's good, too, to note that sometimes people with the strongest morals still kind of moments of weakness. And
and I think
he's not, perfect.
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing that the show has done is by establishing him as this character that like they said it directly in the last episode. You're Sandy Cohen. You always do the right thing. Sandy Cohen always does the right thing. And they've established him as that character throughout this entire show so far. And then this woman comes and he keeps doing the wrong thing. And it really demonstrates when it comes to this woman, he has blinders on and he can't see what the right thing is anymore. And so the people around him have to make those choices for him. Kirsten has to go behind his back and talk to Rebecca. Rebecca has to make the choice to leave. Like, all these people need to do these things.
Way to go, strong women.
Yeah. I think it's funny, too, because there's this whole Caleb adoption subplot, and Sandy is mostly off in his own thing, but he is briefly pulled into Caleb's plot when Caleb asks him if he could figure out, like, how does one go about getting a DNA test? Like, how does that work? And Sandy's advice to Caleb is like, no, be a father. Like, be a good father. Take care of your kid. Like, you've been paying all this money your entire life, and now suddenly here at the 11th hour, you're just like, I'm not comfortable paying money anymore. Like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do the paternity test. And I think it's so ironic coming from Sandy, who's gambling with his entire family as he doles out that advice.
Yeah.
But she's gone. Rebecca is gone, and that's what you were happy about. That temptation is removed from the equation.
For now.
For now. She might come back. You know, with these
you
characters.
You never know.
Still waiting for, what's his name to come back? Oliver. Any minute now. Oliver is going to... That's what's going to split up Marissa and Alex. The doors, they're going to be in a hotel room, and the bing, and the elevator's going to open up. Oliver? And he's going to be drunk as shit. Or no, maybe he'll have a totally different look to him. Maybe he'll be like emo. Emo Oliver. He'll have the hair in front of his face, and let's be like, ugh, life.
What a change.
I don't actually think that's going to happen.
Okay, Scott, tell me what was your rose, because I wanted to put this, but I also didn't want to put this. I sometimes have to give you the opportunity to talk about things that I love too.
So something that not all of our listeners might know about Elyse is that Elise's favorite character in any show is the evil woman.
It's not that I like the evil women. I just like strong female characters. And it just so happens that in movies, if the woman is evil, she's always a strong female character.
Yeah, isn't it interesting that the only way that pop culture depicts strong women is when they are playing the role of an antagonist? I wonder if there's something to read into that.
I mean, just so happens. Beth?
No, it doesn't just so happen.
Beth is my favorite. She's not necessarily the antagonist in Yellowstone.
No.
They've tried to soften her up a little bit this season, too.
Everybody in Yellowstone is kind of an asshole. That's like the
true.
point of the show.
It's true.
Yeah, no, it is interesting that like that is the thing we normally fall back to, and when depicting the strong woman, I
like Kirsten too.
Yeah.
I do. I don't like Marissa.
But Kirsten's moments of strength in the show have normally been like her doing kind of shitty things.
That's true.
I think Hollywood has a problem with the depiction of strong women. I think generally.
That's why I like Lara Croft. Strong female character, and she's not evil.
It's true. Anyway, the point of all this lead up.
Really, anything that Angelina Jolie does.
She's great.
She's phenomenal.
The point of this whole big lead up is my favorite moment of this week's episode is right in a line with Elise's tastes, because my favorite moment is evil Julie Cooper.
Yeah, juju, evil juju, sprinkling her juju everywhere. What?
That was amazing. Please remember that. You can't let. We can't.
It's a good thing you got it on record.
So Julie Cooper's role in this season has kind of very quickly switched to just the antagonist.
Yeah.
And in this particular episode, what is going on? As we said, Caleb has decided he wants to adopt Lindsay, and he's
not over her dead
Yeah.
body.
Julie doesn't want that to happen because Julie wants the inheritance. She doesn't want the inheritance going to Lindsay. So she takes it upon herself to scheme and plot her way to prevent this from happening. So first she's there in the room when Lindsay is told about it and is just being like visibly the biggest fucking jerk to Lindsay ever. Like just public. And I'm just like, whoa. But then she has the best scene in the entire season. She goes to Lindsay's house and she talks to Lindsay's mother at the front door. And it is so incredibly mean what she's doing. She's so manipulative, and it's just like we'll play the entire scene here. Julie's entire monologue here. It's so good.
Hi, Renee, right? Lindsay's mom. I'm Julie Cooper Nickel, Caleb's wife.
How can I help you?
Well, actually, I thought I could help you. It's this adoption business. I wanted to give you a heads up. It looks like Caleb is going to ask for a DNA test after all.
What?
Look, no one is suggesting that Caleb isn't the father. I mean, after all, you would have said something, right? All these years you've been taking his money. God, otherwise, that would be like fraud, wouldn't it?
What exactly are you implying?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all. Just, well, if you do have any doubts about how the test might affect Lindsay, maybe this adoption isn't such a great idea. I'm sure you could come up with a diplomatic way to talk her out of it.
It is evil. It is evil in the most delicious kind of way. Like, I was shocked and I was horrified, but at the same time, I was like, respect. This is what makes a show good. This is what makes TV fun to watch, is when you can see these characters and they're doing these things and you can see it working. She's good at it. She's good at this kind of manipulation.
Good.
And there's a moment at the very end of the show where Caleb has sat Lindsay down and has told Lindsay that he is going to delay the adoption, that he's not going to adopt her.
Oh, poor Lindsay.
And it's
She's so sad.
It's a heartbreaking scene. We've talked about how Lindsay frustrates me, and I just think like there's like the Lindsay Ryan thing. They've just been going around in circles forever. Oh, by the way, in this episode, they're off again. By the way,
well, we want them to be off because if Lindsay's formally adopted by Caleb, then that formally makes Lindsay Ryan's aunt, because Ryan
has
is
not been not been formally adopted.
Yeah, he has.
He has?
Yeah, in season 1.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that. Okay. But anyway, so yeah, it's this really, really sad scene where Lindsay is like crying and like, what did I do wrong? What did I do? And Caleb is just cavalier and he doesn't give a shit. He's like, you did nothing. When you are a man of business like I am, you must take all necessary precaution. Blah, 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 blah. And then Lindsay Lindsay storms off really sad. And like the second Lindsay walks out of the side of the scene from where Lindsay left, she just like swoops around the corner and just is like, don't worry about it, Cal. I'll take care of it. And you're just like, oh, you're so evil. I love it. Julie Cooper was the best moment. Just the best part of this episode. Oh my God. It was so good. It was so good.
I'm so glad that you like her as much as I do now.
And we're going to talk about her evil outfit in the next section because she's wearing an evil outfit.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the best part of the episode. Hands down. No questions. Best part of the episode.
It was a pretty good one.
Anything else you wanted to talk about in this episode?
I think we covered all the big things.
I think my other favorite part of the episode is the FBI agents. They were named Stone Rock and Tudor, which I don't know why I found that so funny. It's just like, I'm just imagining people sitting in a writer's room going, all right. And then the FBI agents come to the door. What are we going to call them? I don't know. What's like the most...
They were looking at houses, babe. It's a Tudor house, and it was made out of stone rock. Come on.
What kind of house are we in right now? What is the most G men sounding names ever? How about Stone Rock and then Tudor? Yes, perfect. It just made me laugh. One more thing.
Yeah.
Before we move on.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I don't know when it's supposed to be in the year in the show anymore. So I'm pretty sure
after Valentine's Day.
I know. I'm pretty sure last week Zach said that he was taking Summer with him over summer break on a Tuscan vacation.
Could be spring break.
Could be. I thought he said over the summer. And then in this episode, it's revealed that that trip is happening next week.
See, I thought that they were just going to Italy. I didn't think they were
it's
going
for a
over
wedding.
the summer.
It's for a wedding.
I didn't think it was over the summer. That
I
they
mean,
had said,
maybe
but,
you're right.
you know.
Maybe you're right. I just didn't, it's you're at
What is time but an illusion right now? Really, Scott?
It's true, because you know what's interesting about this season?
What?
School doesn't really matter anymore.
Yeah. These kids don't go to school.
They don't go to school. There's one scene in this entire episode that takes place in school, and it's when Seth is being super creepy trying to get information from Zach about whether he slept. And then Zach is like, Seth hasn't slept in 2 days, and he hasn't showered in as many days, and he's at school, and Zach is like, go home and get some rest. And I'm just like, no, because he's got school. He's got learning to do. Who's doing the learning?
Yeah. Nobody. Doesn't matter.
Nobody. School's not important. All right, Elyse, let's move on to your favorite section of the week.
Come on, Scott. Tell me about the style of the OC. Hey, hey, hey. Come on, Scott. Tell me about the style in the OC.
Now, in the first sentence, you said style of the OC, and then you said style in the OC. Was that a creative choice or an oopsies?
What do you think?
I think you did it on purpose because you're a genius.
Thank you.
At least not too much to talk about this week. The first thing I want to talk about is dirty, smelly Seth. Dirty, smelly Seth.
See, okay, and let me talk about something here.
Talk. Go.
Okay, so we see two different versions of Seth on no sleep in the past 2 episodes, both with Seth and a lot of coffee, and both acting completely different. And that really frustrates me because had Seth acted the way that he did this episode when Seth had no sleep and on caffeine, he wouldn't have screwed up the comic book pitch. But they wanted Seth to screw up the comic book pitch, so they had him act a different way. And that just really irritates me.
Sure. Fair. What I like, Elyse.
Yeah.
I like that creepy, sleepy, stinky Seth actually looks like shit. I think there's these moments in TV shows sometimes where 2 very attractive characters will be sitting there talking to each other, and one of the extremely attractive characters will look at the other extremely attractive character and say, man, you really look like shit right now. Yeah. And me, the viewer, is like, no, he doesn't. He looks fine. I think this very show has done this before, where Ryan is supposed to look like shit, and he just looks like the handsome teenager kid Ryan still, and he looks fine, and like it doesn't work. But I will say,
yeah. What will you say?
That Seth actually looks like shit in this episode. And I'm not...
Oh, yeah. No, he looks real bad.
I'm not taking anything away from Adam Brody, who's a very good-looking dude. But they like, the makeup...
raccoon eyes on this one.
They raccoon eyes the shit out of him with makeup.
His
hair is everywhere. He's wearing the same clothes he normally wears, except he hasn't bothered to button up the...
They're also very dull color.
Yeah, it is. It's very good costume design here for Sleepy Creepy Seth. Sleepy Creepy
Seth. Sleepy Creepy Seth. Sleepy Creepy Stinky Seth. Sleepy Creepy Stinky Seth.
You know, he hasn't showered in 5 days, I think what they said it was. Imagine how much he smells. Imagine.
What's the longest you've ever gone without a shower?
I guess we're talking like post-puberty, right? Because like I didn't shower every day when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably about that. Like when we went camping, or not when I was in the Boy Scouts.
I think I've gone 6 or 7 days.
It's probably
when I was
about
little.
a week. Yeah.
In my tweens.
And I probably stank.
Yeah, I'm sure I did too.
Isn't it just an amazing feat of evolution that you don't notice your own stink? Like, imagine what it would be like if like you had to smell yourself all the time.
Do I smell good?
Suck. Yeah, you smell good. You smell like Elyse. You have an Elyse smell.
It's my soap.
Which is a combination of your soap and the fabric softener that we use, and your makeup
and my oils
and your just general Elyse musk.
Elyse musk. That's sweet.
Do I smell good?
You do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You smell like swagger.
Swagger. It's the name of my soap. She's not actually saying I smell like swagger. I wouldn't even know what that meant. Okay, so that's creepy, sleepy, stinky Seth.
Creepy, stinky Seth. Say that 10 times fast.
No. Next, I want to move on to the woman of the hour.
To the club clavage.
Julie Cooper. Julie Cooper is... So basically,
I'd wear this dress.
At the end of the episode, it's another party because this is the OC, and at the end of every single one of this episodes, there's a party. This is supposed to be the party for Lindsay's adoption announcement.
Except no one knows that.
Nobody knows that, except, which is fortunate because they end up canceling it. Julie is wearing a pink dress. No, purple. It's purple pink.
Purple?
It's pink and purple. There's a little pink in there.
It's dark purple, light purple.
It's dark purple, light purple.
Yeah.
And she's got like a flower in her hair, like on the side of her head.
She does.
And I just think, I don't know what it is about this combination, but it comes off, like, here's what it is. She looks like fucking Ursula. She looks like Ursula. Little Mermaid. Ursula. Yes. Yes. She looks like what Ursula looks like when Ursula makes herself look like a human. Obviously, she doesn't look like...
Oh, no, I see that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you. She's evil. And it works so well. And it's on point. There's one thing I can say about this show universally, and this is coming from me, style expert, trained in style for decades.
You got the badge now.
Yeah. Julie Cooper is always on point.
Oh, yeah.
Always. We've seen some questionable style decisions from Marissa, even some from Summer.
We've seen maybe one or two for beginning of first season with Juju. But once they've set that evil tone.
Always on point. Always on point.
Okay.
Always.
Okay.
Show me a picture of her being not on point. Show it to me right now. You can't do it. You can't do it.
Well, I don't have a computer in front of me that I can use.
Exactly. Because, Julie Cooper not being on point.
Images.
Perfect. 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 Perfect.
Okay.
I'm going to see some spoilers in here, I guess.
Looking. You should probably stop.
Okay. The point is, she looks like a sea witch, and it's amazing. And she uses the crushing disappointment of Lindsay's announcement getting canceled to launch her magazine.
Her platform. And so once she said it at this party, there's no going back either. Like, even if Caleb wanted to say no.
She didn't clear that with anyone at the company. She just did it. Oh, I love her. I love her. I hope she takes over the world. I hope that we do an OC reunion special and Julie Cooper is president of the United States.
I don't know if she could get elected.
I think she could.
Okay, you better finish the whole series, babe.
Okay, let's move on to relationship status. We got a lot of updates on relationships.
We do.
Not a good week for relationships.
It wasn't. It was not a good week. So we're going to start with Sandy and Kirsten. We've already heard a little bit about them. Last week they were at a 2 out of 10. This week Kirsten tells Sandy that he has already chosen protecting Rebecca over his family, and Kirsten is not happy that he made that decision. She confronts Rebecca and causes Rebecca to leave. Sandy doesn't like that and tells Kirsten that he's upset. Kirsten lets him know they have bigger issues because it's not just about not trusting each other now. So we're demoting them to a 1 out of 10.
Oh my gosh, a 1 out of 10. This is the lowest that Sandy and Kirsten have ever been.
I know.
They are in the danger zone.
They are in the danger zone.
Oh my gosh, I'm worried about them.
I know. Are you worried about Julie Cooper and Caleb Nickel?
Perpetually.
Okay, well, tell me about them.
Last week, we gave them a 1 out of 10. This week, Julie is not happy that Caleb decided to adopt Lindsay, and even more upset that he decided to do this without talking to Julie about it. She convinces him to take a paternity test before following through with the adoption, and Caleb points out that Lindsay was there for him more than for Julie. Yes, that is very true. That is very true. Caleb kind of truthfully says, hey, when I had my heart attack, who was at my bedside and who was off in Nice?
Yes.
So we're actually bumping them up a point, though? Is that because Julie Cooper's Machiavellian manipulation serves to actually remove Lindsay from the picture? Is that why we're bumping them up a point?
For Julie Cooper and Caleb Nichol?
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking the fact that Caleb listened to Julie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said, the Machiavellian manipulation, which I just want to repeat that phrase again because good job me.
Yeah, good job you.
You don't give me credit for these things, so I got to grasp it myself.
I know.
Elyse, talk to me about Zach and Summer.
Okay, Zach and Summer last week were at a 5 out of 10. We find out this week that Zach and Summer didn't hook up last week when they were in San Diego, but because Zach wants to wait to not have sex before marriage. Summer was game. Zach has rethought his convictions and decided that their trip to Italy next week is a perfect time. We're going to bump them up 6 out of 10.
I don't understand your choices here.
Why?
Summer was not game. Summer pretended like she was game because she knew as soon as Zach said he wasn't game that she could lean into being game.
But she was game before. Had he not said no, they would have.
Yeah, but there's a Seth-shaped impression
There's
in Summer's
a past tense word, was. Did I say Summer's excited? No. I said Zach rethought his convictions.
Yeah, but you bumped them up a point. That's what I'm saying. So you thought at the end of this episode in which Summer admits to Marissa that she secretly is still in love with Seth is a positive thing for their relationship. I guess, to your point, the moment at the end of this episode where Seth comes to get closure from Summer.
He's over Summer.
And Summer does that stupid thing. It's the stupid thing that shows do where the two characters are just not talking to each other really. Like, they're both lying to each other. Where, like, Seth is like, yeah, I'm totally over you. And Summer's like, oh, well, good. Then I can just go on my trip and not have to worry about anything. Yeah. And you're just like, no, just fucking talk to each other for 5 minutes. And
Nope, they don't do it.
Okay, well, 6 out of 10. Whatever.
Ryan and Lindsay.
Last week we gave Ryan and Lindsay the perpetual on again, off again, on again, off again, on again, off again couple a 5 out of 10. This week Ryan is not keen on the adoption of Lindsay by Caleb. Maybe because that will make them officially related. No, I think it's because he knows Caleb's a jerk and he doesn't believe his sincerity. He does let Lindsay know about this and she gets very, very upset that nobody, including her boyfriend, is supporting her. Ryan ends up at the adoption party, but still tries to convince Lindsay not to go through with it. And she gets very mad at him. And then when it is proven that Ryan was actually right about this whole thing, Lindsay storms off. Ryan chases after her, but she won't see him. She won't see him. 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10.
Okay. Alex and Marissa.
Couple of the week last week.
Couple of the week last week. And I think still going to end up being the couple of the week this week. Last week, we're at a 6 out of 10. This week, Alex wants Marissa to meet her friends, but Marissa's unsure because she hasn't even been able to tell Summer that she is dating Alex. Marissa starts to get cold feet when she tries to talk things through with Alex, and all of Alex's friends are already at her house. Marissa ends up telling Summer and is excited to get to know Alex's friends and move forward. We're going to bump them up to a 7 out of 10.
A 7 out of 10?
Yes, Scott.
Wow, that's like a good relationship almost.
It's
a solid C.
It's a solid C. It's
solid
a passing
C
grade.
Relationship.
The only passing relationship this week.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I'm very, very worried about the future of this relationship, but right now, right in this moment, they are the best thing going on in the OC. That is certainly true.
Yeah.
Certainly true. All right, so that is it for relationship status, and that is it for this week's episode. Next week's episode, episode 14 of season 2, is called The Rainy Day Women, and Elyse has put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 exclamation marks
I
after
really like this
episode
episode.
She says here, Scott cannot see the thumbnail. Don't give any spoilers. So something big is going to happen on this episode, and it is spoiled in the thumbnail of the episode.
Yeah,
I don't know
there's
what it's
a
going to be.
picture that goes with this episode, and like all of the advertising, any sorts of summaries. You really need to be careful when you open the OC book with all of the discs because it's like everywhere.
Oh, I grabbed the disc this morning. I didn't see it.
Okay. Is the thing still in here? Because I need to make
it's
sure.
in the other room.
So like, don't Don't look at anything.
All
Don't
right.
do any digging.
I'm going on OC
You can't-
lockdown until
You're not even
Sunday
allowed to
morning.
watch HBO Max.
Oh my God, I can't watch anything on HBO Max.
No, you can't open the app.
Okay.
I'm not kidding.
What if I want to watch Doom Patrol?
Then you have to tell me, and I have to put it on for you.
Wait, there's that new documentary on HBO by Patton Oswalt's wife that solved the serial killer thing. I want to watch
You
that.
have to watch that with me, and I have to put it on for you.
Okay. You know, I'm not really spoiler phobic.
I know. I just don't want you to see it.
Okay.
I just don't want you to.
Okay. Well, that is it for this week's episode. I am going on radio silence until next week when I get to watch episode 14.
Thank you.
The Rainy Day Women. If you like this podcast, you can check it and all the other shows we do over at our website, doofmedia.com. This Friday, we'll be doing our book club. It was supposed to be last Friday, but we ended up having to delay it. We will be talking about the book, The First 15 Lives of Harry August.
Did you like it?
I did. I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. I think it's one of those books that...
Was this science fiction too?
Yeah.
You know,
Not
I'm
like
just going to
space
tell
science
everyone
fiction,
that listens that there are other genres out there besides science fiction.
No.
And
yeah, there's fantasy.
I encourage you to read outside of science fiction and fantasy because there are other good things out there.
Name one.
How about just run-of-the-mill classic fiction?
What?
Yeah.
Like what?
What do you mean, like what?
Like what? What classic novel should we read on the book club?
I don't know. You could read some Charles Dickens. You could read a Bronte sister. You could read some Jane Austen.
You know what I want to read?
What?
Frankenstein.
Oh, you should. After we saw that movie.
I've never read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, if you can believe that or not.
You know, that would be interesting.
Yeah, we watched a movie this weekend called Mary Shelley. It wasn't that good of a movie.
You know what?
It was fine.
I support that because it's a monster, whatever, fantasy that might be in the genre-ish, but it's a female author. How many women authors have you guys read for your book club?
Actually, a fair amount.
Really?
Yeah. This is a woman. First 15 Lives of Harry August. We've done a lot.
Who is it?
Claire North. We've done a ton of French novel. We've done 2 novels by Ursula K. Le Guin. There's more. I have to think about it. I mean, probably not enough. Is it 50-50? No, it is absolutely not. And it should be. But that's a problem in science fiction and fantasy, right? Science fiction and fantasy.
So that's why you got to get out of it.
Male-dominated field, yeah. But not so much anymore. Like it is changing. Things are changing in science fiction and fantasy for the better. N.K. Jemisin, we did the Broken Earth book. She's a very good author. That's all I can think of right now.
Well, you've got your book club on Friday.
Yes.
So that's great. And if you want to pick the book anytime for a book club, then you can consider donating to Patreon at patreon.com/doofmedia. You get to pick the book club if you donate, what is it, $45?
Correct. You get to pick the book outright if you donate at that point. But if you donate at any level, you get to vote. Each month we put up 5 books to vote, and each and every one of our patrons gets to cast a vote for which books they want us to cover.
Yeah.
So donating at any amount gets you the ability to do that.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to us and you're like, they're right, I want us to read a drama or a thrill or like a crime thriller or like something that's not science fiction and fantasy written by a woman or maybe a person of color. We've had very few of those.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Yeah.
You should read An American Marriage. That was a good book.
I think I tried and no one voted for it. I tried.
See, I mean, like, you just got to get out there and experience new things and see the world through different people's eyes.
Thanks, Elyse.
You're welcome.
I don't mean to laugh at that. It's just, you're absolutely right. It's just the way you said it was just the most cliche statement I've ever heard. It was perfect. I love you. I love the show.
Stop laughing at me.
And I love our audience. Thank you guys for listening.
And if you happen to be listening and loving it too, you can head over to Apple Podcasts if that's what you're listening on and give us a rating and a review because I still need those stars. I need 5 of them anytime You're there.
I keep trying to end the show, and then Elyse keeps remembering the other things we have to do before we end the show. Which is good. You're doing great.
I'm trying to keep you honest, Scott.
You're doing great. You're
Thank
doing
you.
great. I love you.
Now we're done.
We're done. Goodbye.
Bye.